Greetings, Inquisitor. It's about time you found this holocron. This is the week 42 update for the Darth Loquitur account. I'll go over all my character progress, everything that's gone out with the count for last week. And we'll talk about where we're at, how we're doing in Grand Arena, what's coming up for the next week, and a little bit about 3v3 stuff going forward. Then I'll finish off the video with a discussion about single character teams where you can just use one or two characters that are strong to make a really good team out of it. So let's get into it. Let's see what happened to the account. We said that we were going to relic this Sith Marauder in week 42. And here we go. Gear 13, Relic 0. And we're just going to leave him there. And we're going to take him off of favorites and dump him out of here. And come back and see him later when we're about to get C. Mon Mothma is ready to level up. Now, I didn't think that I was going to invest a lot of resources in Mon Mothma, but she's kind of the heart of that team, and it's doing some good things for me already in Grand Arena. So I'm going to go ahead and invest a little more in Mon Mothma. Get her to 7 stars. We'll see where it goes. Vandor Chewbacca, we put another star onto him. We got to get him at least to the point where he's a little bit harder to kill in that little trio that we've got him in right now. In ships, we're looking through here just to see if there's anything else we can do with ships. We did get the Slave 1 up to the 7th star. So Boba Fett is still very weak as a pilot. So unfortunately, this ship is kind of still very weak compared to where other ships should be. And I should probably commit a little bit more to building Boba Fett as a character since I already have 34,000 galactic power in the ship. I could add another 10,000 galactic power, for example, and make it much more useful. So we are going to invest a little bit into this ship, get the passive going here, and try to make this a valid reinforcement. We'll do another hit on the seismic charge here. We don't want to waste the Omegas on the final level of that ability. And of course that we can't level up until we get the character up to a higher gear tier. So we invest a little bit in the Slave 1. We've got more prestige now, so we're going to go ahead and upgrade this Republic protection skill as well. And we could upgrade the basic, but it's just more damage, and we really don't use the basic much at all on this ship. So I'm satisfied to leave it where it's at. And that's it. That's all the progress we got for this week. Not too much, but a couple key things. All right, so count week 42. So between week 41 and 42, I guess we officially passed the 9-month mark. So this account is over 9 months old now. Interesting. In a way, it seems like it's taken forever to develop things, and in another way, it seems like it's really going by very quickly. My galactic power is up to 1.65 million. We've put 10,000 on since last week. 11 relics now with the addition of that Relic 0 Marauder. 21 Zetas. Still working with the troopers in the squad arena, getting top 100. For fleet arena, we've got Tarkin and the Geos still scoring top 5 when I get the opportunity to play. Unfortunately, this week has been very busy, and I really haven't had the opportunity to play at my payout time, so I've not done well there. But it did allow me to purposely drop a whole bunch of rank, and I just went down to like rank 40 and completed out all of those feats that you need for the Grand Arena feats where you have to defeat without a reinforcement. For anybody who has a real strong starting 3 ships like the 3 Geos in good shape, you can drop down your ranking, intentionally put in a really bad fleet, drop down, and then there's a bunch of people you can beat without ever bringing in a reinforcement and get that feat completed. Goals. I think what we're going to do next is Emperor Palpatine. And we'll try to get him up to gear 13 by week 45. So we're relicing on a 3-week cycle. So we're going to get him to gear 13, relic 0. But in that same time period, I'm going to challenge myself to farm enough of the signal data and other relic materials that I could have gotten him to relic 7. So that'll be the challenge, to do both of those things, even though we're not going to click the button to take him to 7. For energy, we're still doing Krennic, Mon Mothma, Armorer, BTLB. We're still farming stun guns and relic materials. Scion, Bindo, and Zalbar out of fleet. I'm occasionally hitting the Shock T node when it's a hard node day, but not very often. Cantina, we're going to work on signal data, and we're still taking some shards of the Sith Empire Trooper every now and then, kind of balancing that out a little bit. We're going to need him by the time we get the Sith Eternal Emperor up and running. So on one hand, we're not in a big rush to get him. On the other hand, we do have to get 330 shards before we get the Emperor in the bank. Mods, we're going to go back to farming speed. Refresh system, 3 mod energy, 3 regular energy, 3 fleet. And then Cantina gets refreshed on every energy and Cantina energy day for guild quests. Squad Arena store, we're still buying prestige once a day out of there. We'll do that for a long time because we still have to finish the negotiator. We still have a malevolence to build, maybe an executor someday. So for anybody who hasn't realized it yet, once you get settled in on your account and buy the important Squad Arena characters, you're pretty much stuck buying prestige for a very long time because you need it for every capital ship that you want to develop, and the game just doesn't give you enough. Fleet store, we're taking Grievous, anything for clones from 501st, and then Zeta materials if we're ever over 4,000 on the savings. Everything else, feeding the shard shop. So 3-3 Division 9. I went from Division 10. I could have stayed in Division 10 for one more round of Grand Arena pretty easily. Could have managed my galactic power. And I actually was just barely over 1.6, like to the point where if I'd have removed mods from a couple characters, I would have been in Division 10. But I said, you know what, I want to do it. I want to go ahead and go into the bottom of Division 9 and see how that works out, because I am going to get matched up. But I think that's what's best for you all to see, what happens when we get matched up. Does it look fair? Can we still win? And so far, that's looking pretty good. I feel like I have enough teams, which is weird because you need 7 teams on defense and 7 on offense and maybe a little bit more in the tank in case you drop a battle somewhere. So it's like you really need a lot of teams, but I feel like I have enough. So that's a pretty good feeling. I think even to the extent that when I look at my opponent's accounts, it doesn't look like they can even field as many competent teams as what I can. So it's nice. You could say that my account in general is a sea rush because there's only a couple relics in here that aren't involved with the sea journey, and then I'm pretty much just working on that. But I've taken a detour, built up some of the other Padme characters, put Kenobi at gear 12 and built up Padme to, I think, gear 11 and, Relic the Enfys Nest. So I haven't just straight rushed for C, but honestly, I don't feel like the detours that I've taken have really made this take much longer. So like the Relic Nest, definitely I could have reliced a different character instead. So that takes some time away. But building the Mon Mothma team, building the Vandor Chewbacca team, stuff like that, really I don't feel is taking away many valuable resources from the C build anyway. So from this experience, I can definitely recommend to other people that the idea of building some fill teams is good, even if you're going for a Galactic Legend first. And there's a lot of characters that, one character can make a team good, or two. And I've talked about a lot of these in the past, but I figured I'd put a bunch of them on one summary page just to kind of give people the feeling. So Mon Mothma, if you were to have a high relic Mon Mothma with a bunch of low-level rebel fighters, at the start of the battle, she's going to share a bunch of her stats. 8% of her stats get shared with all of the other guys. Then if you put Chewpio in the same team, it doesn't matter. He can be a 3-star Chewpio. Like my Chewpio is very small, like gear 7, gear 8, and 3 stars or maybe 4 stars now. But just having him on the team is going to share 20% of her stats with everybody and share 40% of her stats with Chewpio. So just by building one big character on that team, all of the other characters get boosted, and you can actually make quite a functional team with one big Mon Mothma and then just some other stuff in the team. The Queel with bounty hunters. You make Queel, he shares the stats. If you relic a Queel and put it with a bunch of trash scoundrels, they're surprisingly tough because he shares his health and he shares his offense, so they hit a little bit harder and they last a little bit longer than it looks like they should. And it's not that it's a winning team. You don't put it on defense and go, oh, I'm going to get a hold there. You put it on defense, your opponent brings in something against it, they underestimate it, and they end up losing banners. Or if they really underestimate it by a lot, then they end up losing the battle. So a lot of these teams aren't about, let's say, getting a full hold, but for one relic character, you can put a team on defense that really takes quite a bit of commitment from your opponent. On offense, you can use the Sith Trooper. You build the Sith Trooper to relics, the red Sith Trooper, and you give him the Zeta, and you put him with a bunch of weak Sith. And then you go into a Geo battle, for example. The Geos kill one of the weak Sith. It triggers the Sith Trooper to get an extra turn. He takes an extra turn, does a bunch of damage. Area effect. They kill another one of the weak Sith. He does it again. They kill another one of the weak Sith, and he kills everybody. And if that doesn't work and they're still alive for some reason, they kill the last Sith and he takes the last shot and the battle's over. So you can wipe out a Geo team with this Sith Trooper with just 5 garbage first orders. Or Sith, with him to trigger the effect. With Enfys Nest, of course, she's just a single character that can do a lot in the game. Grandmaster Yoda is another one. If you build up a big Grandmaster Yoda, you can put him with a Bastila-led Jedi. You can put him in with his own leadership with a Jedi team. You could do a lot. Just put him with other Jedi that call assists, like Bastila Shan, like Ezra Bridger. Of course, Jedi Knight Revan, if you actually have that character, but you don't even have to have him. Just put it in with a bunch of characters that call assists, and they'll call him because he's the biggest Jedi, and he'll just keep hopping over there and doing lots of damage. And so it's like again, it's a one character killing machine, and it's probably better to play that on offense where you have control of the characters than to leave it on defense. Kylo Ren, the old school Kylo Ren, I call him Kylo Ren masked. He does need to be at least relic, like I would say relic 3 to get the Old Republic, where typically the Old Republic have to be built up to a certain level to get the Revans, and you do need to be relic on Kylo Ren masked before he efficiently kills those Old Republic teams without dying. Tanks, any tank by itself can make a team. So imagine that early game you just built a Relic 7 Bosk, a Relic 7 Kylo Ren unmasked, a Relic 7 L3, a Relic 7 Sith Empire Trooper. If you built those 4 characters and you just put those 4 characters with garbage other characters with them, you'd probably hold defense in every Grand Arena. Because even if your opponent can deal with one of those tanks, they're not going to be able to do, 3 or 4 of them all spread out among all, different zones. So just tanks, especially ones with pre-taunt, before you start getting into the real high damage characters, those characters really hold the battlefield in a way that can't be underestimated. And any of those characters that you invest into relic level, you're never going to regret it. If you say, okay, well, Shore Trooper, I'm going to pick like the worst thing on that list and build Shore Trooper, you'll never regret it. A Relic Shore Trooper is still a really good tank. It's really effective in the Trooper team and any Empire team that can pull its weight. We've talked before about putting in a Relic 5s with the clone team. That's another example, building a clone bomb team, stuff like that. Putting in one Relic Geo with a bunch of other Geos, if it's like Spy or Sunfac or Brood Alpha, any one of those 3 getting to Relic level, changes the threat level of the Geo team by quite a lot. So when you're looking at a Galactic Legend push, or you're looking at, let's say you went for Revans, but then you don't have much of the fill teams, you can pretty easily make a fill team by building a few small characters and then one of these characters that boosts the whole team, and making a team out of it that's punching up above its weight. So that's a bit my thoughts for this update, week 42. that's all I got. Thank you for your time. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done that already. Click the notification bell to watch more videos like this in the future. Join us over on Discord. We've got a great community over there. I brag about it all the time. A lot of fun people. Easy to come over there. Just ask some questions, get some answers, help yourself build a better account. Hit the like saber on your way out if you haven't done so already. That helps me, helps the channel. Appreciate you all very much, and I will see you in the next Holocron.